Joe Gerbo, Harrison Marx, welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, man.
Cameron Bed.
Two of the sexiest boys at New York City. Look at these guys. Just look at them.
Let me just say this real quick. It is an honor to be sitting in a room with my two favorite people in comedy, Cam Bird and myself. It is so great to be here, Cam.
Joe.
I'm sorry that he's here, but
Joe, I'm so grateful you're here.
thank you, man.
I
Thank
mean,
you.
It's just to deal with that boy on my own.
It's never easy.
It's
dude.
tough.
Everybody says the same thing. It's like, this guy's just too fucking much.
He's like mac and cheese. It's like for 5 minutes you're like, this is really good, and then after like 5 minutes you go, holy shit, I can never do this again.
Yeah.
we normally have a teleprompter, but Harrison can't read, so we're gonna have to wing this one, free ball it.
Comedy.
Now, boys, first things first.
Yo.
You guys did a show Thursday night.
Yes, sir.
Comedy Kills.
Yep.
Fucking congratulations.
Thank you, man.
It was a
Thank
great
you.
show. You guys did great. The acts did great. How you feeling? Give me the rundown. How'd you go? Tell me all about it.
I felt so. First of all, I mean, we didn't realize how packed it was going to be in that fucking place.
No.
In Fear City Comedy Club, Lower East Side, 17 Essex Street, I think it is. I didn't realize how fucking packed it was going to be. That was insane. It was literally like people were standing at one point. And I was happy with the overall show. My set, not so much, but I think we put together a really nice environment of just different comedians and just an overall fun experience. Like, because that's been our thing, is just like people come and have a good time. So I'm fucking thrilled about it, and I love doing it. What about you, Joe?
Yeah, that was, I thought, and Harrison pointed it out to me, I thought that was the best lineup that we've thrown together yet. And I mean, not to say that the lineups that we had before weren't filled with great comics and a lot of talent, but it was just, when we put it together, we didn't think about who we were throwing on the lineup together. We were just like, oh, we need to have him, we need to have her, and then Corey kind of just fell right into our laps. And we were looking at it the day of, or like 2 days before, and we're like, dude, this is going to be a fucking insane show. Just the level of talent with all the comedians. And yeah, man, somehow we've sold out 2 shows there.
It was crazy. I mean, I walked in a little late because I had a show, but it was, when I walked in, I was like, holy fuck, the place is packed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was like sardines in there.
It was like the trains to Auschwitz. It was just fucking, they were getting them all in there.
Yeah.
It was packed, dude. And we were also, at some point, like, I looked at Joe and I was like, dude, where the fuck are we going to put the rest of these people? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, yo, what's going on here? Which is a good problem to have.
Great problem to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Harrison was, I don't even know if you were having a panic attack. Maybe I was more worried about it, but we were like, where are we going to put your dad?
My dad was always a super fat guy, but he lost a lot of weight, and I was still concerned. It's a tight space for an older person. So I was a little, luckily my sister came early and like put together like 3 seats, like, okay. And it was like tucked away. But yeah.
It was funny watching your dad. Like, whenever you were up, I kept looking at your dad the whole time, like seeing how
And
he
was
would
he
respond.
shaking his
Nah,
head?
he
going
loved
like-
it. He was enjoying it. He was enjoying it immensely.
I'll tell you, dude, like, this is a funny thing about him being there. Because like I told you, my set was iffy. And there were moments, one where he fucking killed. Joe went up and was like, yo, give it up for Harrison's dad for having the best joke of the night. And there was a moment where I knew, like, I was sort of losing the room a little. And this is like a beautiful moment of father and son, where I was like, I served the ball to my dad because I knew he would knock it out of the park. Yeah. And it was like, and I was like, give it up for my fucking father. And he helped bring the room back. He was helping his son out. It was really cool.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Joe, have your parents ever come to a show?
Joe's dad hates him.
No, yeah. It's so weird because I told my mom when I moved to New York that I wanted to do stand-up, and then I kind of briefly mentioned it to my dad, and I don't think that either of them really grasp. Like, it's cool that your parents got to see what we did on Thursday, because then you're there in the room and you feel it. But I don't know that my parents have totally grasped what I'm doing or what this is all about. But I have shown my dad a video of me doing stand-up, and biggest mistake of my life. Because The problem is that my dad is a very funny guy. Like I grew up watching Austin Powers with him, and a lot of my sense of humor comes from him. He's like a tough love kind of guy, and he gives you shit. You know, you have to have a thick skin around him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm playing this video, and he's going like joke for joke, being like, "That's not true though," you know, and like pointing out the little things, and I'm like, "Yeah, Dad, that's what's supposed to make it funny," and he's like, "Nah, I don't see it."
Yeah.
He did not suspend disbelief. Like that's
Yeah, he can't. He physically cannot do that.
that's tough, man. Because like I understand as a comic, when you look at another comic, you can go, "That's actually not factually, you know, like if you're doing topical or something." But you have to just like forget about it.
Yeah.
Like the bit about the ODing, where I'm like, Chris Farley, you know, Heath Ledger, I don't think was found naked, but I'm like, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
I need to beef it up because everyone knows those names.
Exactly. Are your parents now supportive of comedy? Like, are they like do they bought into the dream, Joe?
Yeah, I think they just are happy to see me do something that is not bartending and, you know, getting out of like they wouldn't care if I said I wanted to be a garbage man. They'd be like, "Are you going to be a good one?" You know. So I think they've bought in. But until I do something that, you know, is synonymous with success, I don't think they're gonna get it, you know, because
Yeah.
I don't even tell them when, oh, I've got a show tonight. It's more like I'll show them pictures and they'll be like, oh, that's really cool that you're doing that, and then
Yeah.
you know. But my dad asked me when I was in Arizona a few weeks ago. He's like, so are you guys making any money? And I was like, yeah, a little bit, but you know, we're giving it back to the comics, and you know, we gotta pay people to take pictures and stuff. And he's just like, yeah, you guys should be trying to make some money, right? Like. Isn't that what this all is for? And I'm like, yeah, that comes in time, Dad. You know, it'll get there. And he goes, okay, just, you know,
Yeah.
end goal.
And Joe was like, we would be making money, but I'm working with this cheap Jew. Fucking takes everything.
What about your folks, Harrison? Are they on board with the dream?
Oh hell yeah, dude! It's a wild thing because my parents, if you like knowing me, because I'm fucking nuts, you'd think I come from like a broken house. But I grew up never having any direction, and I was just going and zigzagging my way through life. And they're just happy to know, similar, that I have some sort of like, okay, he's doing something. He's not just getting fucked up and like wasting his time. So they're super supportive. I mean, they're worried. You know, it's a normal parent thing to be like, hey, like, you know, I think about it all the time. Like, what if you don't? And I was like, let me worry about that. You'll be
Yeah.
dead by the time I make it, so it won't matter.
My parents are the same. Well, they're not supportive about anything I do first time, but then once they see me do it, they're like, whatever. But the common question is, when are you going to make money doing this?
Yep.
When are you going to make money? I'm like, probably not for many, many years.
Yeah. Like I have to get good first.
Yeah.
This isn't something that you sign up for an open mic and then, you know, you're booked on 10 shows and each one pays. It's like, you're not going to get paid until you're good enough to get paid.
And then even when you do start getting paid, it's not like,
It's
we're talking
garbage.
peanuts.
Yeah.
Absolute peanuts.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to be full-time professional comedian.
100%.
And even then, from what I gathered, if you're a club comic and you're just rolling around New York, you're not rich. You're not a rich person.
Not at all. I think a spot in New York is like $25 usually.
Yeah. I
So
think the seller's like 150 they get for
For a 15-minute set?
yeah.
That's pretty good though.
It's not bad, but I mean, you have to do multiple of those
Yeah.
a week. I mean, if you're only getting 1 or 2 spots a week, you're still
You have to be Mark Norman where it's like, I'm going to do 10 spots in one night,
exactly.
you know, and you do that 5 days a week.
And on the road. On the road is where you
Yeah.
make money. You go to a small town where they have nothing else to do in Bumblefuck, and everyone's like, let's go to the comedy show where they're actually going to want to see you. Whereas in New York, you know, you have fucking 50 different comedy clubs, obviously the Cellar, but you have an option. And then you have options to go eat and drink and get fucked up and not go see that. So I think that's where you'll make more money, is in, you know, Iowa or some shit. If you're known, if you could sell some tickets in each city.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no.
If you're a name or you're a draw. But,
Exactly.
You're a big fish in a small pond.
yeah. But I mean, I think the first time I made money was from our shows. Like, I don't know that I don't think I've gotten a paid gig. So
Well, your gig was the only one I've been paid for, but I did a gig at Broadway the other night, and as I was getting off stage, one of the audience members gave me $20.
That's so awesome. Tipped you?
Yeah, but he gave everyone $20. I'm not that special, but that was still cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was waving at me through the set, and I was like, whatever. I just tried to ignore him.
Yeah.
And then as I walked off, he's like, hands out $20. I'm like, yep.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You know, it's funny. If I was in that position, I'd like, oh, take the $20 and take my shirt off.
What else do you want?
Harrison would be like, so do I suck your dick now? Or what,
What should I do?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
I don't get money for free.
It's like, this is weird. What's happening?
but it's a great journey you guys are on, and the shows that you're doing are just getting better and better.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
And how is it for the next one? What's the plans? Where's the next one? And are you did 2 this month, and you said that was a little too much. You're going to drop back to just doing 1 a month.
Probably, yeah, probably.
I can understand that. It's a lot of bullshit.
It's a lot, and it's a lot of prep, and we try to be perfectionists. So if we want to do things the right way, we got to give ourselves a little bit of time, and but we got it done. I mean, we did 2 shows.
We did.
You know,
did
we
great.
And it was, yeah, man. It's one really big blowout. I think is the way to go.
Yeah.
And this one showed us that like, yo, there are strangers coming to the show. That's the cool. That to me was like the biggest win. When I asked a lot of people as they came in, I'm like, how'd you hear about the show? They were all like, oh, we just went, online. Like we found it. I'm like, you don't know any of the comics, and they're like, no. I was like,
amazing.
shit, that's
Very
it's
cool.
cool.
So something is working.
I guess. Yeah. I don't know if it's the reels. I don't know what the fuck it is, but
Dude, it's the law of applied pressure. The more you focus on something, you're going to break through eventually.
100%.
yeah.
And are you looking at the statistics on your marketing? So are you looking at I know you're pretty good with this, Harrison. Do you check out like how many views you're getting that aren't followers?
Yeah, I do. I look at that.
And you are getting external
Most of
views?
so obviously all the stories are mostly followers, like
Yeah.
it's like 90%, but the reels that we post, 60% are not followers and 40% are.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay,
You're
then
talking about the views?
yeah, the views
Yeah.
for the reels. It's a really a large amount of people are not followers. And
That's
it
so
helps
good.
more obviously if we're collaborated with Fear City.
Yeah.
Because because obviously there's a ton of people that follow them that don't know us. But yeah. So people are seeing it. Whether they like it or not, I don't give a fuck. Just the idea of seeing a bunch of clips, Fear City, there's something that pops into your head, and then Thursday rolls around and you're with your girlfriend or something, and you're like, actually, there was this comedy club I saw, and like, maybe let's go check it out, you know?
Mm-hmm. I always look at the little paper airplane symbol underneath the
shares,
post.
yeah.
The shares, yeah, that's the thing. And if I see, even if it's like 5 shares, I'm like, okay, that's cool, because that means that somebody saw this and was like, I want to show somebody else.
Yeah.
But then in my head, I go, it's probably 5 people that went, look at how fucking retarded these guys are.
Without a
Look how
doubt.
dumb they are for putting this out there.
Without a doubt.
Well, we are always going to be self-deprecating cunts.
You can't, you can't not be.
Yeah, it's in the nature of being a comedian, I think. Being a procrastinator, self-deprecating,
Yes.
and being an idiot.
Yes, you have to be lazy, you have to be egotistical, you have to be talented, you can't work hard. It's like all this, but then, if you have the right balance or the right blend of, the good things, that'll hopefully you won't get in the way of yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's what you guys are doing is amazing. I think I've said this to you guys before. I think what you guys are doing is like you're kind of leading the way with like we're all sort of amateur comics, but you guys are pushing the boundary as to what we can all do and where we can go with it. And you're making opportunities, which I think is the number one thing when you're early in the game. You just got to make opportunities because they're not coming to us, whether we like it or not. Very few.
Who the fuck are we?
Yeah.
Why should they come to us? It shit comes to you when you're working for it. Who are you when no one's watching? That's like the best way to put it. And dude, like you were saying, a lot of comics are lazy. Like it's that kind of like life. It's that lifestyle. I don't know. Joe is one of the most hardworking people I know. I like to think of myself as hardworking, and I'm just like, yo, if you really want to get on stage, then fucking do it.
Yeah.
No one's giving us 10 minutes right now.
No. But you're better about it than I am, where you are too, because you're doing shows all the time. I don't think you'll turn down a chance to get on stage. I've said no to things because I'm like, I don't know if I want to, or I don't know if if I have material, and I'm better about it now where like if I don't think I have anything to say, I'll be like, yeah, but it's 5 minutes, you can go up there. But I'll take a night off, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't hit it nearly as hard as you two. So I've seen, because Harrison's doing something every single day, and now I've gotten to the point where when it comes to social media, I think that's where I'm making the biggest leaps right now. And I'm literally just following whatever Harrison's doing. So if I see Harrison do something, I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I should do that. You know,
Yeah.
if he posts a story about, oh, we're selling tickets, blah, 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 or here's the mic, I post my own.
Yeah.
You know, where it was like, I used to be like, oh, I'm either going to repost Harrison's shit or I'm going to, you know, oh, I'll get to it. Now I want to be more like, if I see Harrison do something, I'm like, okay, you do that right now too. Because
Yeah.
I've also admitted that I'm never going to beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
Like he's so on top of it. So then I'm like, all right, well, best thing I can do is if I see him do something, 5 minutes later, I'll do the same thing.
Well, Harrison, you're the reason why I've become quite good at social media as well. Like I'm quite consistent now.
Yeah.
And the podcast has helped because there's just so much material I can pull out of that. But I was fucking awful before. I did nothing. Before I came to the city, I didn't even know how to edit a reel. Now I'm
Yeah.
editing my own clips from the podcast. I'm putting them together, I'm posting most days. And I followed your example as well because I was like, all right, we just got to get after it, don't you?
Thank you, guys. I mean, I appreciate that. I'm going to blow the both of you now.
I mean, dude, no,
please.
seriously, I did not know my ass from my elbow when it came to Instagram until like 6 weeks ago, where I asked Harrison, I was like, can you just show me how you edit shit?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, and it takes 2 seconds to show you what to do. And now I'm like, yeah, no, now.
And your reels do really well. Your reels, like when you put up like a 15, and that's the crazy part is the shorter they are, the more people are gonna want to see it because the attention span's so fucking short.
I used to do TikTok a lot. That's why.
Yeah.
So
okay.
I think
so
I
you
think
know
that-
like that. Okay, this is the increment of like where we're gonna hold people.
Yeah, I just know that you know, when I'm on Instagram, I'm not looking for a 3-minute video to dive into. You know, I'm looking for like a 10-second, just a quick
Yeah.
that's it. You know, but Harrison is an actor. He's got an acting background, so like the way he approaches things, it's a little bit more drawn out, and it's a little, you know, there's an
of a
element of
story.
storytelling. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing I have a hard time shaking because it's like even the reel we did for Fear City of like, oh, you know, we have a dream, we end up in comedy hell or heaven, whatever, and it's too long because people are not going to sit through it. But it's just the way I am. The funny thing is that I never wanted to be a part like on the internet. I was like, fuck this shit. I don't fuck with that. It's sellout, like, you know, all that stuff you tell yourself when you're an artist. And I realized I'm like, yo, you're just a dumbass. Like you have an opportunity, you have it at your fingertips to reach the planet, which obviously we're not, you know, I'm using that as I'm exaggerating. But like, well, if I want to sell more tickets and I want to have more people at the show, which you'd be insane or you'd be a liar if you said, I don't really give a shit. Like if you're a comic, like no, you want that room to be packed, whether they're good audience or bad.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is the only way. Like I don't know any other way. Like this is, and everyone can do it, and no one fucking does it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the ones like the pros do it.
Yes.
You know, the pros are all over YouTube and Instagram, so it's like if you want to be there, you probably have to do that.
Yeah.
You probably have to put yourself out there.
It's the only way. You have to swallow that bullet.
Yeah.
If you want to make it, like I've had some people on this podcast that I've had on, and I collaborate all my posts with anyone that's been on. But I've had a number of people that don't even accept the collaboration, but they've got like 300 followers on their Instagram. And I just think to myself, why? Like, why wouldn't you at least just accept the collaboration, try and build up a little? It's like a good thing to have. I don't understand. It's just like you just got to take every opportunity, whether or not. And even if you think it's a bad opportunity,
There's not.
it's not really such a thing.
I mean, people are fucking on the internet now for opportunities. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like what your podcast clip is not going to be the thing that ends your, you know, whatever you think you have or whatever. It's fucking insane to me. I don't, and like, especially if you're from somewhere else too, like this would be my thinking. I'm from New York, so it's different. Like if I came from Arizona and I only had a couple hundred followers and I wanted to impress the people back home, I'd fucking accept that shit and be like, yeah, I was on a podcast last week. I'm
Yeah.
doing comedy in New York City. And they'd be like, oh shit, you know, he really made it.
Yeah.
And they have no fucking idea, but like that would be my thinking.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's interesting. But it's a, whether you like it or not, that is the way the industry's going. If you don't,
it's
sort of-
already there. That's the
if you
thing.
don't cotton onto it, you're gonna just get left behind because it just goes to show what you guys have done. Your success is basically how many tickets you can sell, how many people you can get through the door to come and see you.
Yeah, that's
and the
it.
quickest pathway is getting some sort of following. I believe I don't believe there's any other way.
I don't think so either. I mean, it's
You have to have exposure. You know.
and you have to be willing. That's the other part that people have a tough time with. And I had a conversation with someone yesterday about this. Michael Kaufman hit me up and he said to me, he goes,
Is Michael Kaufman the guy that?
beat me at the comedy roast? Yes, it is.
Oh, that guy. Okay,
right?
okay,
That
okay.
guy. Yeah.
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 Oh, I know Kaufman. Yeah.
The greatest.
Yeah. Roastmaster General.
Fuck you, Joe.
Dude, he calls me right after. So the week of this roast, he's like, dude, I'm going to fucking bury this guy. I'm gonna fucking bury him. And I'm like, you're good, dude. You're good. You got this. And, you know, he comes over that day to my place to show me how to, like, do Instagram reels and everything. And I'm like, so you ready for tonight? He's like, yeah. And he runs his jokes. And I'm like, yeah, those are good, man. You're gonna do fine. And then about 2 hours later, he calls me and he goes, I fucking lost. I'm driving to a bridge to jump off.
I was a little hurt. And that just goes to show you can't underestimate your opponent ever.
You know what? When I heard that, I was so shocked because if anyone is good at roasting someone, it's you. Like your brain is wired to roast someone. You've just got that.
Well,
like,
nobody's better at roasting Harrison than himself. So you're like,
Yeah.
he's got to be, you know, it has to come almost naturally. And he's from New York,
Yeah.
you know?
It's more, my head is like a brain of like a freestyle rapper when it comes to roasting. If we're doing it in person, I can pop. Once I have to start thinking about it, I overthink it.
Yeah.
Whereas other people are the exact opposite. You know what I'm saying? Like if we could do a roast right here, right now, I'll fucking murder. But if we have to think about it, the other person's gonna go deeper, and I'm gonna be like fucking retarded. But thank you for reminding me of that awful day.
Yeah, I don't know if you.
Well, I got one this Friday.
You doing
Yeah.
the roast battle?
I'm doing a
Who
roast
are you
battle.
roasting?
A woman. I'm not going to say who,
I saw her.
but I'm going to try my best. But my brain doesn't work like that. I'm not good at that sort of thing. I'm not very good at like thinking on the spot. I get flustered.
Yeah. Just call her a cunt.
I mean,
how
that's
you
the
gotta
first
do.
one.
That's a 1950s roast battle.
But from where I'm from, that's a compliment. So.
Yeah, right. Judy, you beautiful cunt.
It's so funny though. Cam and I were on the phone this morning, and he goes, "Yo, can you like take a look at her Instagram?" And I was like, "Let me see her." And dude, off the top of my head, I was like, "Boom!"
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And it wasn't even like,
I was like, hang on, slow down. I'm going to write this down.
it was so fucking mean. Also, it was just brutal.
I was like, I don't know if I could say that. That's like.
He goes, "Is that too mean?" I was like, "Fuck her." Dude.
That's how you got to go into it, though. And I think what you should do is when you have the roast battle, just because they have like the gaffle thing, right? So you have her on one side and you on the other.
Right.
Have Harrison right behind you, kind of whispering into your ear, and then be like, huh, yeah. And by the way, you're also really fat.
I believe in hitting below the belt when it comes to that. I'm
You
like
have
a big.
to.
You have to. You got to go.
Okay,
there.
I've never been to a roast battle. I've never watched one. I have seen some of the pros. Like, have you seen Bumping Mics?
Yeah, with David Tell and Jeff Ross. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just like quick one-liners. They're little
Yep.
insults, but they're like humorous insults.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of what I thought it was. But like from what I'm gathering, it's more like insult. Like you
got to be mean. You can. So what I've never done a roast battle, but I used to watch the Comedy Central roasts, and like I just remember how eviscerating all those comics were.
Yeah.
Especially like Greg Giraldo,
Oh, yeah, he
Anthony
was
Jeselnik, who's my
great.
favorite comic. And Anthony Jeselnik said, he's like, I don't know if I'm gonna have better jokes than all these people, but I know that I can be meaner than them. And so I think that's the attitude
Alright.
you have to go.
I just
in
got to
with.
put my big boy pants on, just go ham.
Here's the thing also, like you gotta, I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't know what the energy's gonna be like in the comic strip, but the Comedy Fight Club in the Lower East Side, the guy who runs it, I forgot his fucking name. I think Matt Marin. Yeah. Maybe it's not Marin, but Matt. He like goes up and he's like, yo, this place, all bets, you got to be okay. Like, we're all equals here and we're going to fucking destroy each other. And that's the charm. And at some point, even myself, like, because eventually all the comics on the panel roast you also. Yeah. And they're really good. And I was almost, there was a part of my, I'm like, oh God, that one hurt. That one really fucking hurt. And you have to just suck it up because that's the environment. Now, if it's like that at the comic strip that night, then then you fucking go. But I don't know, you know, some places are like, oh, it's an LGBT friendly roast. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about here. I think it's supposed to be.
I thought the LGBT roast was just hell.
Yeah. Did you get that one or no?
No.
Like they're gonna burn in hell. They're gonna roast in hell.
Canceled.
Oh, it's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, just go, Cam. Just go mean. Just go mean. Yeah, and you're a nice guy, but let whatever fucked up shit you have in your head, let it go there.
Okay, you know? I got some ideas. Like Harrison certainly ignited something in me. I was like, yeah, okay, I can do that.
I mean, I
like it's appallingly rude, but I'm like,
but and stay in your lane. You know, if you're like, I would never say that to somebody. You don't have to say that, but if you think it and you genuinely come up with it, fucking say it.
Yeah.
Or say exactly what Harrison.
Well, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna like, because we on our little group chat, I'm gonna like post up once I learn a bit about the person, because we're gonna have a chat on Monday. I'm gonna put some facts on there, attach some pictures, and go, boys, go ham. Give me some ideas.
I would love to throw in a couple of.
Please, yeah. Yes. Well, I've got to do 5. So yeah,
easy.
You got to come up with 15 and then chop it down from there.
Yeah.
And obviously, like I meet up with her and learn about her life and figure out. Also,
I'm going to tell her some shit about my life. Like, there's a lot you can go, off me, and I'll be very honest. Like, I would just say, you can do this. You can like,
you don't
I'm
wanna be the
IVF, so I'm
guy.
like test tube baby. Like, you could go fucking forever on that sort of shit.
Yeah.
You know, like cocaine addiction back in the day, like degenerate prostitutes and
Big penis.
Yeah, just
fuck like a stallion.
But I really hope she doesn't insult me by saying those sorts of things.
Yeah, that would be too much.
But that's the thing, though. You also, like, if you meet up with them, you can get an idea of what they are comfortable with. They may say, hey, look, don't touch this topic. Like, don't touch I have really big ears. It really fucking bothers me. Okay, fine. I know not to do that.
Yeah. And
that's where it becomes fair. And some people are like, yo, do whatever you want. And that's my school of thought. So do that and then work from there. Because, I mean, I just went off what she was looking like.
Yeah.
Did you have anything that you were like, this is off limits?
Never. I got nothing. I was like, anything you want to say.
So what was, if you don't mind sharing, what was like did Kaufman have like a blow what was the blow that really got the crowd? You don't have to talk about it.
I had one, no, we could talk about it. I'm doing his show on Thursday.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And
that's amazing that he's producing a show.
Well, he called me up and he goes, dude, can you help me out with the reels? He goes, I'm having a lot of trouble and I'm like nervous. And that's what I was talking about before. People are afraid to look stupid, but it's like, who gives a fuck? No one's judging you except you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one gives a fuck, whatever. Like I would look at a person no matter how dumb the reel. Oh, wow, they're doing something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm helping him put together some reels for this show about a charity show for epilepsy. But because also Jonesy said, he's like, yo, put together some reels. And he didn't know what to do.
Does he have epilepsy?
Yeah, I think he does.
Okay.
And I said to him, I mean, my first thought was like, dude, it's a show about epilepsy. I said, I'll get on my phone tomorrow. I'll do a reel where I'm like, hey, guys, come to the show, and then flick the lights and go, I'm like, that's it. It's 15 seconds, boom, you're done. Like, that's it. And it'll sell. People will laugh at that, and it'll be done.
See, I would never think of that. That is so brilliant. Just, yeah.
and have Kanye's flashing lights. That's on your back, right?
Yeah, there we go.
But you can literally do anything. And Harrison's right. Like, I used to be the guy that was like, oh, that's so fucking stupid. And then I would think, yeah, there's no way I'm going to post because it's so stupid. But then the more I started doing stand-up and I would see the guys that post a lot, my mindset changed because I would see them and I'd be like, they're going about it the right way. Like they're posting a reel a day. They're doing, and some of them suck. Some of them are great. It's just and sometimes the algorithm serves you and sometimes it doesn't. And who fucking cares? You're throwing piss into the wind. You're throwing shit at a wall, seeing what sticks. That's it.
100%, dude. And that's That's it. Like no one, and the beautiful part is the attention span is so short. Even if it is the worst fucking thing in the world, 10 seconds later, they're not going to remember it.
Dude, I have a this happened the other night. I was on stage and I blew a snot rocket out of my nose. And I didn't even realize it happened until after the show. Somebody brought it up to me and was like, yeah, it was pretty bad. And I heard somebody go, that's fucking disgusting. And then I went home the next day, or I went home that night, and the next day I was talking to my girlfriend and I'm like, yeah, so I snotted on stage, and she goes, oh yeah, you did. I forgot about that. But
Dude.
and she goes, I'm sure people, I forgot about it. I'm sure people have forgotten about it. But as soon as you bring it up, everybody knows.
People don't forget, man.
People don't forget.
Me and Eli looked at each other this second because I got a profile of you, and it was a long
Bro, oh my
and
God.
I look at Eli, and Eli literally, like in unison, we turn to each other like this. We're like, and it was just almost touched. It was like you know when you were a kid and you would spit out your mouth and it would almost touch like the curb, and then you. That's what it.
I've been avoiding this.
Oh, Joe.
But you got to it before someone else did.
Good on you.
I haven't got to it yet. I guess now, yeah.
Who cares?
But I can't wait.
I mean,
You gave me, I'm sorry, Cam. He gave me a really fucking good idea, because I was like, dude, I can't believe I did that. Like, whatever. And he goes, you should post it.
You have to.
Yeah.
No,
No.
I wouldn't.
No,
There's
he's
a
right.
line.
He's right.
No,
he's right.
I'll give you an example. I did a clip the other day. I was at a mic and I did this. The first like 30 seconds was a callback, but it was completely unplanned, and it was really funny. I got laugh. But when I'm nervous and I'm unscripted on something, I tend to swear. I tend to go back to like the blue collar brain where I was on site swearing a lot.
The bridge words.
And every second word was fucking. And I was like, I can't post this because I just look like a degenerate. So I don't think you have to post everything.
Well, here's the thing. My school of thought is that I post bombs a lot of times. I've posted bombs because no
Most
one
of your sets
else.
are.
Yeah, most of them are. I don't really have anything else. It's true. It's really true. Sometimes I'll look at it, I'm like, I fucking killed it. And then I look back and I go, oh, fuck, maybe I didn't.
Shit, I should have snot rocketed.
But I look at it and I go, no one else is posting bombs, which is maybe counterproductive. But if I approach it in a way where I roast myself, where I had one where I was like zero self-awareness, where I knew I didn't have the room and I was like, I'm going to keep going. Or like the other one where it's like, none of these jokes are working, and that's great. I'm learning here.
It shows your humility, though.
That's the thing also. And people, other comics, I get more likes on that shit sometimes because they're like, damn, like, that's kind of cool. And I told him, I'm like, yo, the snot rocket,
So fucking brutal. That
I think it'd be funny if you're like, yo, miserable fail on stage, and he mentioned like if he puts it in slow motion.
I'm going to, no.
Dude, it's gonna be so funny. And that I think it's to make fun of yourself. Like, yo, you're untouchable. That's why I say, like, no, like you said, no one can make fun of me better than me.
Right.
And that's how you get through high school. That's how you get through life.
Yeah.
Of like, yo, you want to go? I'll fuck me up way
Yeah.
quicker than you can. And it's like, yo, let's do it. I think it makes you stronger.
You take away their ammo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you post like videos of you, so when you post a video of yourself bombing, it doesn't look like you're bombing. It looks like there's a second in the show where you go, well, that didn't work. And then people go, okay, that's funny, because people relate to that shit, even like people that aren't comics. And it's very original, because everybody, you know, like when I post a reel of me doing stand-up, I'm like, I'm going through the set one by one going, oh. And then I'm like, okay, maybe I could post that, right? And I make sure it's perfect. I clip it. I'll edit out the parts where I don't get a big laugh, and I just do like a transition. And so I try to make it like as perfect as possible. But when you go in there and you're like, fucking, this is what I got. I mean, nobody else is doing that. It's fucking, and that's original. That's an original thing. That's something that is unique to you. So you can in a way corner that, you know?
Yeah, you've
And I'm not encouraging you to do poorly.
No, I know. It's
But-
just so funny that you're like, you've cornered the market of sucking so bad.
It does, like you
No,
said, it
I know
takes
what you mean.
balls.
But there's also, you're not sucking from your performance.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like
No.
you're going up there and stuttering your words and you're just bombing because you're shit. Like, it's still a well thought through bit.
Yeah.
And you're still projecting well, you're still performing well, and you still, it's a good performance, but you didn't get the reaction from the crowd. So there's nothing to be ashamed of in that.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
I'm not bothered by it at all,
Yeah.
honestly. Because I know. I'm like, yo, I've had nights where it was just amazing, and I post those too. But I think it's a fun thing to see how the pudding is made sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I've thought about this because, I record all my sets,
Yeah.
especially shows. I would love to one day, say, 10 years, get a Netflix special, whatever. I'd love to one day go, yeah, this was the pathway, like bang, 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 like the progression.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting as well, because like we
100%.
all start from somewhere. You're ignorant to think that you're going to be amazing from the start, and that's why one of the reasons why I love doing this podcast is because we're all new, and what I'm being able to show is like guys, us, friends, we're all in our infant stages and we're all growing together, and I think that's like the best part of all this.
Yeah. It's a really cool thing, dude. It's probably not going to be as cool in 10 years when we look at the sets and we're like, oh my God,
Yeah,
holy
it'll be
shit.
cringy.
Yeah, like, whoa, we fucking sucked and we had no idea. But right now, I think it's great, dude.
Yeah, it's just a timeline of your growth.
Yeah.
It's, you can look back. We can all look back on posts from like 6 months ago and be like, that wasn't that good. Yeah.
Dude, 3 months ago, I looked at my
Last week.
industry room from 3 months ago. It
Totally.
was like, it was okay, but totally different person up there from 3 months.
Yep.
And then I think, well, what's another year going to be like, or 2 years?
The cool part about seeing that is that you go, wow, like I was, no matter what I thought at the time, you go, wow, but it was ballsy of me to put myself out there on the internet. That is, I think, the biggest win of like, wow, like you look at it and you're like, Jesus, I'm so much better now. But it's like, well, at least I had enough guts to really go, here it is. Like this is what I'm doing. But yeah, man, I don't know. I think it's more people need to fucking do it. And I understand being there's that purist mentality of like, I'm a fucking stand up, and I get it. But I think you can do both. You know what I mean? Like be a pure stand up comic and still post, your shit on the internet.
Yeah, because it doesn't really take away from anything.
No.
It's just another creative endeavor.
I think if you go into like a show or something, sometimes I'll feel this way, but like, or go into a mic and record it and be like, yo, I need to get a clip out of this.
Yeah.
Like, once you start thinking like that, then you're fucked. But if you happen to get one,
That's why I don't record a lot of my sets at open mics, because I find whenever I set my phone up, I fucking always bomb. I always have a shitty set, and then when I don't, I'll have like a good set or an okay set, and I'm like, damn, I wish I recorded that. But I'd rather wish that I had recorded something than maybe this is counterproductive, but I'm happier if I just did well than if I did well and got a good clip out of it. I'd rather get off stage being like, that was good.
Yeah.
there's also something to be said about like enjoying the moment in the moment. Like sometimes things are meant just for the room.
Yeah.
And it was a moment in time that you got to, and it's like, that's it. Like that was the present thing. And that's fucking cool as shit. And that's what makes stand up special.
Yeah. And that's what the clips don't show, is that like,
Ever.
You're taking like a 15-minute or a 15-second segment of a 10-minute set. And so you don't get the entire atmosphere. You don't understand the ride of the performance. So even if you post something and it's like, that was a good joke, maybe the rest of the 9 minutes was pure shit. Or if you post something and you're like, this is okay, but the rest of it was fucking incredible, you had to be there. You're just, the internet, it's all smoke and mirrors, it's all a lie. And the only thing it's doing is just, you're just pushing yourself out there. You're just peddling your own self. You're peddling your shit.
Peddling shit.
That's it.
Certainly feel like I'm peddling shit sometimes.
Yeah, dude, this lifestyle is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's brutal, but I'm starting to notice, I don't know about you guys, but I'm starting to notice I'm kind of, a part of this process for me has been the acceptance of being here. The acceptance that this is what I'm doing. The acceptance that this is the life that I'm choosing. And the more that I accept it, the more that I have found that I'm getting better within myself and more comfortable. That's taken a little bit of time. Also, by the way, I got approved for my green card.
Yeah.
Hey,
let's go.
good time,
that-
because this administration is not fucking around.
Yeah.
Is that why you're wearing the green sweater?
Yeah, I got approved 2 days ago, so I got
It's
the
fucking awesome.
temporary green card coming in 2 weeks.
Great.
Sick, dude.
Start working. I don't know what I'm going to do for
Stop
work.
being a lazy foreigner.
Yeah.
Living
I've
off
tried
our
to
tax dollars.
I've tried to not be too lazy, but it's a little.
You're not though. You're not
Yeah,
lazy at
yeah.
all.
You're
You've
doing
been you've been hitting this so fucking hard.
Yeah, we're going good. This is episode 24, so we're
This, but even like the shows, dude. Every time I look at your page, it's just like I have 10 more shows booked in the next 2 months. I'm like, Jesus Christ, how does this?
It's been fun, man. It's been
Whose
good.
dick are you sucking?
January did 23 shows,
That's a lot.
23 shows.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
so it was a good. Really,
I don't think I've done 23 shows in 2 years.
but they're all there, bro. Yeah,
They are.
Yeah, they're there.
Well, this is a perfect way to get shows also. Like having people, hey, come on my podcast.
I haven't
Yeah.
got any shows from this yet. I don't think.
Really.
I think your
No.
name has gotten around in the community, though. I think everyone knows that you do a podcast, and I mean, they also know you're funny. But it's you know more people, and you've been here probably the smallest amount of time than anyone else I know. Like we go into a room and you're like, oh shit, that's so and so, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And you know, you networked
you work
really
the
well.
room. You work
Yeah.
the room whenever you. That's another thing that I can tell when somebody's been doing it for a while, when they know everybody in the room and they're comfortable enough to like talk to everybody. Because a lot of times when I first started doing comedy, like it's very cliquey, and you know sometimes the people that are really good don't want to talk to anybody. And sometimes the people that do it all the time and go to the same mics, they only talk to the people that they know. And so, like, when I go to Judy Z's and I see you talking to every single person, I see Harrison talking to every single person, it's like, if I didn't know you guys, I'd be like, oh, they've been doing this for years. It must be. Or they must be somebody.
Yeah, I think I've always been like that though, which is lucky. I've been like that ever since I've known life. I've always been the kid that just talks to everyone.
Yeah.
I've been always the social sort of person, the kid that couldn't shut up in class. And yeah, that's something that's why I knew that I would like doing podcasting, because I just like
Talking to people.
Yeah.
It makes sense, dude. It makes sense. I wasn't like that growing up. It happened much later for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like once I was in college, that's when I started like, oh, okay, you know, talking to people and being open and okay with myself. And it's a wild thing when you walk into a room and what you think. There was someone who you and I were talking, I'm not going to mention their name because I don't want to, where I was like, oh, that dude comes off like a douchebag. I think you know who I'm talking about, Joe.
The fuck?
I'll tell you later. And I spent some time with him recently, and I was like, wow, I just made this whole fucking
I think I
thing
know
up.
who you're talking about.
Yeah.
I think so. I think you do. And I was like, wow, like it's crazy what your head will do.
Yeah.
And then you meet them. You're like, oh, this guy's actually kind of okay. This is
They're
cool.
probably thinking the same thing.
Without a doubt.
You know?
That's the other thing where you have to go in going, they probably see that. They're thinking that about me. Let me go fucking break this thing in half before both of us like just hate each other for no fucking reason.
When you get to the nuts and bolts of someone, usually that image that they're projecting isn't always them. It's sometimes a defense mechanism.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Yep.
and usually in most cases there's a soft gooey side in the middle. You know,
Yeah.
that you just got to find. So I think I'm good at spotting that in people, and I think also like I was always like that at growing up as a kid. And then working in blue collar, and I worked in like such big projects with so many different people, and it would be so easy to like judge a book by its cover because I was working with so many like degenerate kind of people. But when you meet them and you actually get to know them, they're like, these are actually funny people. They're great people.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so you work construction?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when you're around, these are all fucking like manly men, right?
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
I'm sure when they talk, it's, you know, it's almost like holding court, you know,
100%.
and you kind of have to be able to keep up. And so
I used to feel very uncomfortable because I'm not like a manly dude, and
you're too pretty.
thank you. But when I've had some issues, especially when I was like younger, like getting the like respect from other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think everyone's you got to give everyone the benefit of the doubt until you don't have to.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to invite them for dinner, but you got to kind of give them a bit of a go. But then some people are just
Cocksuckers.
So irritating. Like even if they are a nice person, they're still just so irritating that you just can't. I still just can't go and have a beer with them at the pub. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's always been a cool thing when I hear people say like, "Oh, I'd get a beer with him." That's how you know that a guy or a girl is legit. You're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, they're a cool person."
The pub test.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could hang out with them for 10 minutes and talk about bullshit.
Yeah.
You know, and there are some people that can't do that because they always have to spin it around back on what they're doing, or you know, talking about shit that nobody wants to talk about.
It's generally ego. It's just if someone has too much ego, that they're the people that I'm like, I just can't do this.
And it's crazy because that's all we're around.
Yeah.
Everybody in this room, we all have egos. You know, it's the only thing that makes you comfortable enough to get up on stage.
Yeah. Well, it's the only thing that makes you human.
Yeah, you have to have some sort of defense.
Of course.
You know.
Yeah.
Especially in a city like New York, like fucking, there's so many people, and I don't want to be friends with everybody.
No.
And so, but you have to be able to turn that off in certain settings and be like, no, like I gotta go bump elbows. I gotta go be friendly.
But I'm learning a lot. But I'm like a very observant person. And I'm learning a lot just from like meeting all different characters, especially like for comedy. I feel like it's really interesting seeing everyone's style and like just taking little bits, and then I can like look at someone's style and be like, okay, I think they're really influenced by this professional comedian or really influenced by this person. There's like something to learn from everyone as well, which is cool.
Yeah.
And also you can get an idea if you have some sort of awareness. Like you just need like a little, like just enough awareness to go, okay, that person needs to be the center of attention a little bit. So I'm gonna give them what they need. Like you know how to give and take. Where there's some people like we were saying who just don't fucking. They're so like just they got blinders on. But like knowing when to shut like you and I were talking about it the other day, knowing when to shut the fuck up and knowing when to speak and knowing okay, like I don't need to be. I could just sit here and kind of observe.
Yeah. I think, that was the one thing that I took from like rewatching the early episodes of the podcast was the frustration that I was getting within myself was when I was talking too much and I wasn't listening. Yeah. And I felt like, so to your point, I think sometimes it is better just to listen, be the voice, be the ears, not the voice.
You want to hear something funny? Not funny, but interesting. My dad always liked to be the center of attention. He was always the guy who's just like, boom, he was in the room, whether he was singing, telling jokes, whatever. And my mom had way more friends than my dad. Always. Like it's still to this day, she's got tons of fucking friends. And my dad was like, it's crazy. She's on the phone all day. I don't know how she knows this many people. And I was saying to him, I was like, and my mom was telling me, she will listen to anybody's shit. My mom will be, like, okay, yeah, and listen and listen and listen. And those are the people that want to be like other people want to be around people where they could tell they could just not shut the fuck up. And that's the people where you're like, oh, I fucking love that guy. And it's usually because they'll allow that person to unload everything, which is a dump load of shit. Like you got to walk home and you're like, holy fuck. But
this guy's a psycho.
Yeah, it's like it's a lot, and you have to be okay with not talking about yourself, which is the hardest fucking thing, especially for comics. But those are the most liked people, are really good listeners. I think in any setting.
Yeah. Have either of you ever read it's How to Gain Friends and Influence People?
I have.
Yeah, there's in one of the first 3 chapters, because I only read the first 3 chapters. But the author, I think
he's like, this
Dale.
guy won't shut the fuck up.
No, but he talks about he's like, I have made a living off of listening to people, and then he talks about how he'll go to parties, and people will just start talking to him, and then they go to their friends and they go, Dale is such a good. He's such a good conversationalist. And then this guy, Dale, the author, he's like, I didn't say one word. I just let them talk to me.
Yeah.
But for some, it's not a trick. It's just something that naturally happens. My mom is the same exact way. My mom's a listener.
Yeah.
And people fucking love her to death. And my dad he's a little bit more, commandeering, you know, he has to work he likes to be in control of the conversation, and so those are great people to have. They're super interesting, but you need both, and it is a lot easier to open up to somebody that will lend their ear to you than somebody that constantly has to like
Make it about them.
right. And this is what we're talking about right now.
I did. Someone said this to me the other day, and I was talking to Harrison about this morning. But I think in every relationship, it's a two-way street, and I don't mean that in a way that you need to get something out of someone.
I want to check something on my time.
You're right.
Yeah.
But I think like you have to be able to get something, whether it be like an emotional or connection or something from a relationship or any sort of interaction with someone. It needs to be two ways. So I think there's like, as long as you can get that sort of balance where you walk away, you don't want to walk away feeling like I was just someone's ear to all I did was just listen to someone's bullshit or the whole time.
It's give and take, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And the skill of being good at conversation is knowing when to impart your own, what you want to say, and then letting the other person say what they want to say. And then when it gets into, what's really fun when you get to know people and you're shooting the shit with people. I can't believe I'm breaking down a conversation, like how to have a conversation. But it's cool when you're a great conversationalist, because when you sit down with somebody, especially in this podcast, in this setting, you'll ask a question, you'll let us answer, and then when to keep going, when to change the topic, when to shift gears. And that's a skill that not everybody has. And I think it has to do with how you were raised, what your personality is like, and also the environment that you've been around in the last 10 years or whatever. It's like work in construction, you have to be able to hold your own with a bunch of different personalities. And it's not, there's no, I don't want to say there's no safe spaces in construction, but I'm sure that when you're sitting down and talking to a group full of middle-aged men that have been carrying lumber and shit all day, they don't want to talk about the weather.
No, it's different. Yeah. But Harrison, you passed your 100 days. Woo. No drinking.
I made it to 107.
Okay, and he's still going?
No.
Good on you.
No, I had a drink after the show.
Nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I had 3.
No. How did that feel?
Not great. Honestly, I think I was a little upset with my set, and I was just a little critical of everything. So when I had the drink and I was a little tipsy, there was a part of me that was like, I was sitting there going like, I don't miss this feeling. I don't miss this feeling at being like not in control. Where it was either I was like, I want to get completely out of control or be fully in. I'm like, this middle ground sucks.
Being a responsible drinker.
Yeah, I'm like, if I'm gonna drive home, I want to be fucking wasted. But man, I was very happy I did, and I walked away from it like, all right, I'm gonna stay sober for a little longer. Like I had my drink, and I'll do it on celebratory occasions. But I think I'm just fucking locked in to comedy right now, because I left there. I'm like, I want to go work on my set. I want to get better.
But you proved yourself you can do it.
That was the biggest fucking win. I was like, holy shit. Like and as I was having the drink, I was like a real alcoholic. I could stop whenever I want. That was the big win. And I'm like, all right, cool. I could do this. And I don't really need it now, which is kind of cool.
It was cool that was the first time in a long time that we all hung out at a bar.
Yeah.
Was this after the show?
Yeah, after the show.
I didn't know you guys were hanging out. I thought
we didn't either. We just it kind of happened. You fucking left like a bitch.
Yeah, well, I actually had to get
him and Riley tried to steal my girlfriend's car.
What?
So I call the car for my
like
girlfriend.
an Uber. I thought you meant her own car.
No. Well, I mean, technically, I was paying for it, so
it was your car.
They're stealing my car, and so I'm waiting there for the Uber to come up, and then he drives by, and I'm like, oh, it's that Tesla. And so I start walking my girlfriend over to the car, and then I see Cam and Riley like looking in the windows, being like, yeah, this is it. Dude, I'm looking at the license plate. I'm like, wait, guys, I think that's mine. And Cam was cool, and Riley was like, oh shit, my bad.
I was following Riley, because Riley lives on the same street as me.
No
So
fucking
That's
way.
why you got
Yeah.
okay.
So I was like, man, are you going home? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I'll follow you. So I was just following the lead. I had no idea.
No, that's that. I would have done the same thing.
We were trying to take your girlfriend home.
Yeah. I got that. 'Cause you immediately saw me, and then you went, "Oh, Amy."
What? Oh, are you going in the same direction as us?
By the way, I wanted to say this.
I'm gonna have to get out of here, guys.
All right.
Don't go.
Before you,
I don't want to go. Honestly, I really don't want to go. But it says 30 minutes to get there, and I'll be like just on time.
You're good. Do you know what time you're going up?
I don't know. They never tell us till we
Yeah.
get there. I know there's gonna be. We probably won't start till 5:45, but I don't want to be
Yeah.
the guy that shows up late.
give us your socials, Harrison.
At Harrison_Marx MARX, and then you'll do the Plan B stuff after. But
Yeah.
and yeah, I'm going to Broadway Comedy Club tonight, and hopefully don't bum.
You'll be right. You'll kill.
You do great. Are you gonna do? Do you have new shit to do or?
I'm gonna open with the Look Like Luigi.
Nice.
Go into the Bruce Willis bit. That one's a killer. That one I'm like, that one's never done bad. Watch, it's gonna fucking flip.
The connoisseur or
The carpet cleaning thing. That one. I mean, that one does well. And the pregnancy photo shoot, which is weird.
I
that one's
love
funny.
the carpet cleaning.
that
bit.
one's really funny.
I really do.
But I'm gonna do the United Healthcare CEO guy, the black CEO.
Yeah.
Ruin the fucking room for everybody.
Well, it's 5 minutes, right?
Yeah, it's just
this
5.
is a good like warm up to see the industry room.
That's the thing. I want to
fucking
do
5 minutes,
all
dude.
the
It's
new
gonna
shit.
be-
It's nothing. I'll be in and out.
Yeah.
But all right, let me run.
I love you.
Joe, I love you. You're a fucking best dude.
That was a cute photo we posted.
I
That
love
was
you.
so hot.
Are you going to the boys' show later?
I think I'm gonna pop in to show some love. I
Alright.
think I need to show face.
All right. Send us a message.
Yeah, I will. All right, I'll represent us.
Okay, please do. If you're not doing anything later, come by the bar.
No fucking way. Not tonight, man. I know myself. If I'm out that late,
This guy, he's ever since he's become responsible, he's become a total fag.
I think he was always a total fag.
the alcohol masked it. Okay, I was way manlier. I love cock.
Harrison Marx, everybody.
Harrison Marx.
I bid you a good evening, gentlemen.
Love you, buddy.
Love you guys.
Love
Thank
you,
you.
buddy. All right, let's do a little reset, little shuffle.
Let's do it. I wanted to tell you, so give me the go ahead whenever.
No, we're good. You're good. Yeah.
So we went to your industry room last week or 2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and
Last weekend.
yeah, last weekend. And so it's me, Harrison, Eli, Justin, and your wife, Mel. And we're all sitting down. We're in the way back corner, like as far back as you can go. And I had to get out of there. So I only stayed for like an hour of the show. And, it's a 2-drink minimum. So I flagged the waiter over and I'm like, hey, I want to pay for my two drinks. And then I would like to buy her margarita because Mel ordered a margarita. And she overheard it and she like grabs the guy and she goes, no, I'm paying the bill.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he looks at me and I'm like, no, here, take my card. It's okay. And she looks at me and she goes, Joe, I'm paying for everybody's drinks tonight. And then I'm like, Mel, please just let me buy your margarita. And she goes, Joe, don't fuck with me. And I was like, okay, all right.
No, we're both the same like that.
She's so sweet.
Yeah,
she's so cool for doing that.
She's great. We both view it in the same way. Like if I've got a bringer, I always get the tickets and I always get people's drinks.
You guys are so, and I mean, you don't have to do that. It's definitely appreciated because sometimes, those can be a steep night, but we're there to support you. It's no big deal. But yeah, the fact that you guys did that was fucking awesome. And I'm also, a lot of people, they like to fight over like who's throwing the card down, right? Do all that. I was always taught that you always put your card down. And if somebody goes, no, I want to do it, you go, no, let me. And if they go, I insist, okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
all right.
yeah. No, I agree. I like it's just going back to the two-way street thing. It's like when if you've invited someone for dinner, like hey, you're like, hey, you're coming, come around for dinner, please. Like, and you're like,
You're not like go get groceries for
yeah,
me.
exactly. Like you put it on. Like that's the thing, and it's a two-way street. You're doing me a favor by coming. You've made the event possible because you came. So yeah, it's just the way I was raised.
Yeah, man. Well,
If I was broke, it'd be different.
yeah.
You know, like a lot of people don't have money. A lot of people in the city are living week to week. So I completely
True,
get that. It's
true.
It's not feasible for some people to do that. But I do have the belief. I'll be honest. Like I do think it's the right thing to do. I think it's a nice thing to do.
I think it is too. It really is. I mean, it takes all the fucking pressure off of us because then we're like, oh, we're just going to show up. That's fucking awesome.
Exactly. It's easy. I went to a bringer for one of our friends the other day, and I had to get the ticket, and it was a $20 minimum at the club, and it ended up costing me like $60 for this show I didn't even want to be at.
Right.
And it was, you know, because it's like
Brutal.
and that sucks.
Yeah.
That's kind of sucks a little. So, you know, I know how I feel in those situations, and I don't want other people to feel like that in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, no, and you definitely were raised the right way because there are a lot of people. I mean, I hate to say it, but there are a lot of people that, you know, they just show up to our shit and then they're like, they walk in the door and they expect, you know, whatever, you know, you come to a show for free, and I think comics just do that. And I'm not trying to say that, you know, there's anything wrong with that, but it is nice when you come and you're like, hey, I bought a ticket, bought me and the wife a ticket. It's like, thank you. You didn't have to do that.
But the thing
You
is,
could have just walked in.
what people don't realize is that money generally, like, I know how these things work. Like, you guys aren't really making money on these shows. You're paying the comics, you're paying the videographer, you're paying the photographer. By the time
And
you
the
guys are probably
house.
lucky if you've got $20 left in your pocket at the end of the show, which
Right.
if you do, you fucking deserve it because you've put in all this time and effort. So it's not about, you got to think about the bigger picture. It's about, we got a friend, and he hasn't been doing that well financially lately. And the other day we were at a comedy club, and when the bill came round,
Is he a comic?
he's a comic, and
Okay.
when the bill came round, he didn't even tip the server, nothing.
Yeah,
And
that's shitty.
And in my mind, it is shitty. And I thought, well, that's why wealth isn't coming your way, because
Yeah.
you have to give for it to come back. It's just
Right.
the law of the universe.
Yes.
I truly believe that. So
Yes, 100%. There's a book called Deadwood, and I think that's what the show was based off of. And it's about the Deadwood territory it was somewhere in North or South Dakota in like the 1800s. There's this really, really great part where the main character, he's like, you know, I've always had this belief that money comes and goes, and he was a very wealthy guy in the book, and he had no problem just paying for people outright and taking care of things. He's just like, you know, if I lose $100, 200 is going to come back to me later on. And it's so true. Like what you put in to the universe, you get back.
Dude.
So if you're going to be a miser your whole life, then don't expect, you know, good fortune to come your way.
it just won't. Today on the train, there was this family. There was like two kids and a father. They jumped on the train and they were busking, like they were singing. And there was this guy standing in front of me, and he pulls out money when they came around at the end.
Yeah.
And he had like a bunch of ones underneath 100, and he didn't realize he had 100 there, and he gave them the bunch, and the 100 was on top, and he's like, oh fuck, and he pulls the 100 back, and then the look on this little girl's face, she was like, oh,
Yeah.
and he goes, no, fuck it, and he gives her the 100.
Damn. Yeah.
And this guy was like 20 years old. He didn't look wealthy at all, and I was
Right.
like, wow,
Wow.
what a dude.
Right. Right.
But I still wouldn't have given it 100.
Absolutely not. No. Absolutely not. I would have been like,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that guy, he's gonna have some good luck coming here.
yeah, I would have been like, sorry, just let me get that one.
Yeah.
You can have the rest.
Yeah.
Actually, give me 5 more. It's another thing. It's like an old school kind of, I don't know if it's like a mob thing, but like, you know, those dudes that, you know, they pull out wads of cash and
Yeah.
they go, here, you know, they tip the bellboy, they tip the server, and they're just putting money in the pocket, that kind of thing. That's a cool thing to do. And
Yeah.
because money talks, and when you spread wealth around, people respect you, and you get away with shit. So like if you're a comic that goes to an open mic, and, you know, I get it. It sucks that you have to buy an item, and, you know, it sucks you have to spend your own money just so you can get 5 minutes on stage. But if you go to a bar and you ask for a club soda, and club soda is like $3 or $4, and you tip the bartender $5, they're gonna remember you.
For sure.
They're gonna be like, he's cool.
Yeah.
And they're not gonna give you a stink eye when you're like, hey, can I just get a water? Or they're not gonna blink twice when they see you. They're gonna make sure to get your order before everybody else's. Like,
Yeah. And
just let it, you know, be. You don't have to be super generous or anything, but you know, it's just that is a way to. I don't know. It sticks in people's minds.
well, these guys aren't rich either. They're fucking servers. They're
Exactly.
relying on tips. Like then, what's
that's what I make my living off of tips.
what I mean? What's your hourly rate if you didn't make tits? Tits.
Tits. I wish I made more tits. I think
Like it's not a lot in America, is it? It's
minimum wage is 15 or maybe
Yeah.
it's 17 now.
Yeah.
But so if you work in the service industry, you really only get paid $10 an hour, and then the tips on top of that it cancels out that $7.50 that you're not making.
Gotcha.
So you end up making more than minimum wage usually, especially if you work at a busy place. But yeah, if
you're still not a rich person.
no,
at the
you're
end
not
of the week.
rolling in it. But that's the thing you need to think about when people go, well, why should I have to tip 20% on top of the bill? It's like, because that person that's serving you is actually making less than minimum wage, because the expectation is they're going to get tipped. That's how they clear minimum wage, and that's how they make a little bit of money. And so if you've never worked in the service industry, you may not know that. And I understand the argument. You know, you go anywhere else in the world, you don't really tip. Like, do you tip in Australia?
So I have plenty of times. Like,
But it's not the norm,
it's not the
right?
norm.
It's not the custom.
It's not the norm. But I've always been a pretty generous person. So.
But when you're here, you just have to understand that, like, these guys, they're working for tips. They're not working for the house is getting the bill.
Yeah.
You know, they're the ones that are clearing the $100 on that, you know, $120 tab. It's not going to the server. The tips are what goes to the people and they need it the most.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, 100%. So, mate, how you been?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm riled up on this coffee right now.
That's fucking good.
A couple of zins, dude. I'm shaking.
How's your writing going? Like, you're performing fucking amazing, and you're coming up with a lot of new material.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I have a hard time sticking with the same material, and I don't know if I think I have to be more disciplined about fleshing things out and being able to, you know, say jokes for, I don't know, you know, 2 to 3 to 4 months. But I really, once I do a show, I almost go like blank slate.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because it gets stale to me, and I also get a lot of my material from current events.
Yeah.
And, you know, after like 2 or 3 weeks, it's just not funny anymore.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's almost like it's an exercise just to keep up.
Are you reading the paper? Like, how are you getting your material?
No, it's literally all social media. It's all on the internet.
Really?
And from hearing what people are talking about, you know, like
Yeah.
you'd have to be living under a rock to not hear about the planes that crashed the last couple of weeks.
That's fucking wild.
It's fucking crazy.
Another one crashed yesterday?
Yeah, in Philadelphia.
I saw a video of it. It looked like a ball of flames while it was coming down.
Some people, I was reading the comments, some people are like, that was a fucking missile. And people are speculating all sorts of things. I don't know what the hell's
my
going
first
on.
thought was, who was in that plane?
That's what a smart person would think.
Yeah.
I was thinking about, I guess there were some Russian nationalists on the plane that crashed in the Potomac. And so I was wondering if that was, because for a Black Hawk, which is that's a military helicopter, for that to crash into an airplane, that's a massive fuck up. In DC, that's the most regulated airspace. That's because the president lives there, right? Like, you can't fly at a certain altitude over the White House or anywhere near the White House. They'll shoot you down. So that airspace is so tight. For that to happen is a major, major fuck up, or something that we're not being told.
Yeah. Did the people in the helicopter die as well?
All of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fucking sad.
And I was talking about this with my girlfriend. I'm like, I hope it was instant, because the worst thing that could happen is you get hit. You're in a plane. It crashes into the river, and then you drown.
Yeah.
You know.
I bet you there's going to be a lot of wild shit that happens over the next few years. Now that Trump's in.
Yes. That's the thing too, is that, you know, people that are already super riled up over Trump, like buckle up. It's going to be a rough 4 years.
Yeah.
Like if you're already freaking out about it, it's going to be a long 4 years.
Yeah. Yeah. He gets a lot of people offside. I don't know. I'm a Trump guy. Like I would lean, if I could vote, I would lean towards him. But I did notice something the other day that he said, which I really don't agree with. He was talking about Palestine, and he made a comment like we should just clear the whole Gaza Strip out, move everyone out of there completely. And I was like, damn, that's not cool.
He does not. So he's not a politician, and he doesn't have a filter like a politician does. Like Donald Trump just says whatever the fuck he thinks. And most politicians, you talk about people that have the most filter, politicians, they have to weasel their way around conversations and hard topics, and they have to be able to say the right things. And Trump doesn't do that at all, which that's why he's so controversial. That's also why he's so beloved by the people that follow him. You know, he's a fucking lightning rod, and he says whatever the fuck he's thinking. He says some wild shit. I mean, when they were talking about the plane crash, you know, I guess people are insinuating, or that he was insinuating, that DEI hires had something to do with it. And
what's DEI?
Diversity. I forget what diversity, equality, and inclusion.
Right.
It's hires based on, like, you know, race, sex, or sexual orientation, you know, to make sure we have like enough of each working. And I don't know if I think a reporter asked him, like, so do you think that race had anything to do with this? And he was like, maybe it did. And you go, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Like, you can't fucking say that and expect people to like you. But he doesn't care. He doesn't care who likes him or who agrees with him. He's just fucking, and he's a New Yorker too. So New Yorkers just talk shit.
Yeah, it's sad. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going to happen there. I was really disappointed by that. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
I feel so bad.
Get ready for some more. For some more of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have to look at, is this administration doing what they set out to do? Which is, the first thing, we're going to secure the border and we're going to deport criminals. That's what they're doing right now. So you can't ever judge a president even after, like, they leave office. Like, we won't know the full effect that Joe Biden's administration had until like for another 10 years. And then we can look back and say, like, oh, okay, this was directly caused because of them, or this was, you know, this is what happened while they were in office. You know, I remember learning that when I was a kid, because Bush was president, and everybody loved Bush in his first term, and then in his second term, everybody hated him. And the same thing with Obama, where everybody loved Obama for like while he was in office, and then after he left, then the numbers start to come together, and you can look at what a president did and what they okayed, and then you can go, okay, this was good, this was bad, this is why we're here now, you know. So it's going to be a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah.
Every single week, every single mic we're going to be at, there's going to be some comic like, so did you guys hear what Trump said today? And it's like, yep, I did.
Fuck. American politics is so fucking wild. It's so different to anything else in the world. It's like watching a movie, like watching a train wreck. But you guys get so into it.
Yeah.
Like it's so divided, isn't it? It's like you really are like one side or the other.
Yeah, that two-party system is fucking us.
Yeah. I don't think there'll ever be a third-party system, though.
I mean, there's, you know, every once in a while there's like an independent nominee that runs, and they never get any votes just because you have to affiliate yourself with one side. And once you do, you know, there are just such strong issues that each one stand in opposition and against, I guess. And it's so hard to be in the middle. And I think most people are in the middle, like,
I think so
philosophically.
too. Yeah, I think so
But
too.
when you vote, you
They're all
have to
idiots.
choose. You have to choose one side of the aisle.
Yeah, you do. So what's your plan moving forward, bro? You're gonna try and get some. You're gonna do some barking for St. Mark's. Did you put your name down?
I did. Yeah,
Nice.
I'm on the list. I
Okay.
haven't got it yet.
You will.
Yeah, I want to. I'll probably just start opening up my schedule a little bit more. It's tough because I can't do Friday and Saturday.
You
'cause I
probably
work.
won't get barking. I haven't ever got a barking spot on the week.
Yeah, those are
weeknights.
probably they on weeknights or
Sorry, like weekends.
yeah, and then so yeah, I know that Harrison does. I've seen you do like Tuesdays, Thursdays kind of.
I get
thing.
spots for them randomly. Like some weeks I get 1, some weeks I get 2, some weeks I get 4, some weeks I
Yeah.
get none.
Well, that's
So random.
That's something that I want to do more of. Is I want to.
It's a good way to get shows.
Yeah, so bark for them, do the industry room again.
Barking maybe for Fear City as well.
If he's up for that, yeah. If Jonesy gives us the go ahead, that'd be great. The other thing is I would like to connect with some people and try to get on their shows. And,
Yeah.
But I'm also I don't know. I have a hard time asking people to be like, hey, can you put me on your show?
Yeah.
Maybe it's probably my ego, but I would rather somebody approach me and be like, hey
Yeah.
man, you'd be great on our lineup.
You will.
But-
You will. I think it's also about just trying to get on a different variety of mics. Like
Yeah.
just putting yourself out there and meeting different people. That's what I think is the best way.
And a lot of the people that run their own mics also run their own shows. And so the mics are kind of the testing grounds, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's honestly a way that me and Harrison have put together a lot of the lineups. Is like, who's been to our mics or who do we know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It seems to be the way forward. And what nights do you generally work at the bar?
Friday, Saturday, and then I work Monday, Tuesday lunch shifts at a hotel
Oh yeah.
over by the Brooklyn Bridge in Dumbo.
What's that like?
It's very slow. It's a lot more chill, but it's very corporate.
Right.
It's super, super corporate.
Do they tip?
They tip very well.
Oh, that's good.
They tip very well. I'm not a huge fan of it because I hate corporate settings. I just hate they send out emails and they go, "Hey, A team," and it makes me cringe. I hate that shit. And at the bar that I work at on Friday and Saturday nights, it's a lot more loose. And the difference is that in the corporate setting, if once I clock out, you don't have my time anymore. Like I don't give a shit, So if they hit me up and they're like, "Hey, can you come in on your day off?" Somebody called out. I'm like, "Sorry, I got shit to do."
Yeah.
And that shit is sleeping in or writing material or just enjoying a day off.
Yeah.
Whereas like at this other place, if they ask me to come in on a night off, I'll be like, yeah, I will, because A, the money's really good, and B, if I don't answer, then somebody else will, and then they'll start asking them to come in. And I still want, I want to be asked. I almost want to be given the option to say no.
Yeah.
But if the money's worth it, I'm gonna.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do for work soon.
What do you have any prospects?
Nah.
Are you still writing?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm writing, like for comedy I write.
Well, but so like, do you still want to go down the author route?
Nah.
Have you thought about starting a blog or anything? No.
I'm going to try and push this podcast. Like I want to try and do 3 a week consistently.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of other editors now on board. So
Nice.
hopefully that's going to roll around and just try and push this. And I'd love in like a year's time or maybe 2 years' time to be able to get some sponsors.
Yeah.
That would be sick. Even just small sponsors, like if Comedy Club wants to sponsor and we just spruik a comedy club and shows on this.
I mean, dude, if we could make Plan B a sponsor, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude. Oh, whenever you guys want it. It'd be fucking
Yeah. I mean, if we give you like $5,
that would be enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, fine.
Yeah.
We might have to do that right now.
Dude. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do is events, because I did an event for someone and
Like working hospitality for events? Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Those are good money grabs.
yeah, just like quick. It was volunteering. I volunteered for someone.
Oh, okay.
But if I had have been getting paid, it would have been good money.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Like,
And that'll keep you afloat.
that'll keep me
once you
afloat.
can.
I don't want to do blue collar.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
I'm done.
Fuck that. Because
Never
then you gotta
again.
work ugly hours. And
Shitty
you gotta work
hours.
like 5 days a week. The nice thing about the hospitality industry and the service industry is that you can work like 3 to 4 days a week and stay afloat.
Yeah. A lot of guys are doing it.
Yeah. If you talk to anybody that is in the arts in this city, whether it's comedy, music, or acting, like 50% of them work as bartenders or waitresses or hosts.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy, and it's just because the flexibility that you get with that job.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, there's like event companies that hire you as well, to do like more higher end events where you can get paid like $100 an hour.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, take that.
Yeah.
Because then you could do that. You could do that twice a week, and you work 4 hours. It's $800
You're
easy,
done.
and then the rest of the time you're doing comedy.
Yeah. Well, that's the plan.
But I imagine you've got a good amount of savings. Like you're doing all right.
I'm fine. I honestly probably wouldn't have to work this year if I don't want to, but I kind of have to because it's just stressful. It's just a lot of It's just when so much money is coming out and nothing's coming in. It's kind of like you start feeling it.
I've been there. Yeah, I've been there. Maxing out credit cards or just watching. You know, you're collecting debt, and you're like, when is this going to end?
Yeah, you got to cut the bleeding.
Yes, you do.
You got to cut the bleeding, and then just like, because it's hard to have. What's the mindset? It's a prosperity mindset. Is that what the word is?
I know what you're talking about. It's shoot. It's right there on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. It's fuck it. We'll move on.
Yeah,
but it'll
but
come to me.
It's hard to have a mindset of like prosperity and wealth when you don't have any coming in.
Abundance.
Abundance that's the
mindset.
word. Yeah.
Yes.
Which I think is really important to have.
Yes.
And a friend said to me, "Yeah, you've got to address the bleeding." I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, that's true."
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, and you do that in anything at like comedy or like you have to kind of carry yourself like I'm gonna get more shows, I'm gonna get more opportunities, you know, and I think it lends itself to success when you have the awareness to know that like opportunity is knocking at the door every single day. You're going to have a chance to do something that you didn't do yesterday, today.
Yeah.
So just be ready to jump on the opportunity. Like when you texted us on Thursday, like, hey boys, I can't make it tonight. I got to do a set at St. Mark's. It's like, yeah, you should do that.
Yeah.
You know? You shouldn't say no to that.
Yeah.
Because that can only help you. And even if that one set on Thursday just gets you another set next week, like that's how you start. You're feeding it.
What do you think about getting a job at a comedy club?
I think that's a good way to get time.
Yeah. I know the money would be awful, but I've been thinking about that as well, just to like.
You can work the door at a club.
Yeah.
You can be a bar back. You can probably start bartending. It's hard to just jump into bartending if you've never done it before because a lot of places won't hire you. But yeah, dude, go to New York City Comedy Club and see if you can be a waiter.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it. We'll see.
And they'll let you get on stage.
That would be the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are we going for time? Oh, we got to wrap this up.
Cool.
Joe Gerbo, give me your socials.
All right. So
when is your next show?
I've got a show on February 11th at Greenwich Village.
Nice.
And then a show on February 25th at Greenwich Village. And then Plan B will have Comedy Kills 6 at some point, probably towards the end of February or the beginning of March. And then, hopefully we get some St. Mark's shit or, we'll try to figure it out.
You'll love St. Mark's. It's great.
I mean, I've done open mics there. It's a cool room. I've never done a show there, so I'm interested. But everything that I hear from Harrison, he's like, it's a good place to work out material.
Yeah.
It's a good place to kind of like crowd work. They're pulling people off the streets. And barking is also just another thing that you kind of have to be able to do. So, it's another skill to learn.
Yeah, it is. And by the time you get on stage, your ego is like so small.
Yeah.
So nothing matters after that.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, I was talking to all of you guys outside.
Exactly.
But my socials are, my personal one is Mojo So Dope on Instagram. And then Plan B is planb.comedy. So Plan B is where me and Harrison will post stuff about our open mic. We'll post about our shows. We'll post reels for, anything that we do under the umbrella of Plan B goes on there. And then we also put it on our main page, just, get more exposure.
Oh, yeah, man.
But yeah, that's the other thing is just keep fucking churning out material or, content.
Mate, you're killing it. I'm loving this journey with you.
Appreciate it, man. This is another thing that we'll be able to share. So
100%. All right, Joe Gerbo. Absolute pleasure.
Can't bid.
Sexiest man in New York City.
Second to you, but
see you on the next one, guys.
peace.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to this episode of Going After It with Cam Bird. Produced by Cam Bird. Podcast edited by Calpit. Music by Brian Rigby. If you've enjoyed this episode, please like and subscribe. And if you can, get after it.